Hello and welcome back to Front Row Review. Tonight we're going to review me, Vince Maniacs. I forgot to introduce me again.
Well, I got a lot to say about that. Now, how much time are we allowed on YouTube? If I'm reviewing you, wow, it might take a couple episodes.
Welcome back to Front Row Review. Tonight we're reviewing the DVD. I forgot to introduce me again. Welcome back to Front Row Review. I'm Vince Maniacs.
And I'm David Graves.
And tonight we're reviewing Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D, the DVD.
Okay, the cover, like the first and second one, is if you didn't get the first one on Blu-ray, is actually in 3D. And although this is the only movie that actually is in 3D out of the three movies, so it's a really nice cover and it works well with the depth, seeing the 3D on the cover. Now it's been literally been forever since I've been wanting to see this movie in 3D, because originally when this came out I was in grade school and I did not get to go see it in theaters, and the only version I've ever seen of this is when it was on the VHS. So I've looked on the internet thinking maybe somebody had a 3D version of it, and I could not find one anywhere. So as far as I know, this is the first time ever that this has come out in 3D.
For me, Dave, actually, it's not the first time you've ever just seen it. I think the first time you ever watched it might have been on VHS, because I watched it with you, and that was quite some time ago. But I remember when Friday the 13th Part 4 came out, they showed Part 3 and Part 4, and both Dave and I had a chance to go and see the movie at the theaters. However, it wasn't in 3D. It was just regular film, the 2D version.
That's what I mean. They've never released it since it was originally in 3D. So we finally get this. It's something I've been waiting forever for. So we finally get it, and it comes with, which I mentioned, 2 pairs of 3D glasses, so you and somebody else can watch it in 3D. Okay, so we can't really talk about any extras on the disc because there isn't any. I don't even think there's a theatrical trailer, is there?
All that's on this disc is the 2D version and the 3D version, so you can watch either one. And the only special feature is the theatrical trailer.
So really the only thing we can talk about on the disc is basically the 3D effect, because it's Friday the 13th 3. So the only real big attraction and draw to this is, of course, the 3D. Now, the 3D effects in this movie are not like the 3D effects, say, in My Bloody Valentine, where you have the regular plastic, looks like sunglasses from the movie.
The Polaroid. Or Polarized, that's what it's called.
So while you're watching this one in 3D, it really, because of the old 3D effect, to me anyway, it almost gave me a headache watching it. and the 3D effect, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's horrible, but it's not that great actually.
Well, I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's nostalgia for me. I kind of liked it.
To me, it seems like the red overpowers the blue lens, and like everything you're looking at, it seems like it's too dark, for the picture quality. Like, as I have them on now, as I'm looking around, the red is just so dark, it overpowers the blue, and it makes everything seem too dark while you're watching it.
Well, yeah, actually, I will agree. There's quite a bit of when you're there is quite a bit of red when you're watching the movie.
Now that's what really they should have came out with this one, was the actual polarized version. Rather than the old 3D version. But like what you said, it's kind of nostalgic. You know, you got your red and blue lenses, and you're watching, you know, a movie that obviously, you know, the technology back in the day, this is all they had. So, and the 3D effect is okay. I mean, when you're watching it, you can see it has depth of field. I mean, things are in the front, middle, and the back. You know, there is depth of field to it, but it's not. Nothing like, of course, nowadays 3D, but it is 3D. Don't get me wrong, but and there was a couple of good effects here and there in there, and it was great, fun, nostalgic fun to watch this in 3D finally.
Actually, this is actually one of the better films that was in 3D, and because they actually made it for 3D. I mean, everything, you know, of course, everything is. That was the whole gimmick of the movie. So, I mean, everything is coming right at you out of the screen. So, I think it did work to a point, and I'm sure at when it originally came out, it may have worked in the theaters. I guess it really did, because this is the one film that every Friday the 13th fan has always wanted to see, and see it in 3D. So now's your chance.
Okay, so what are you going to rate? Because they're really not the rate on this movie. There's no special features except for the 3D effect. So really, we can really rate on, without rating the movie itself, just the 3D's effect for the film. What do you give it?
Well, for the 3D effect, I would give it 4 out of 5 Normans.
Well, being that I've waited this long for this movie to come out and see it in 3D, I would also have to give it 4 out of 5. Just for the 3D effect alone. Now this has no special features at all on this movie except for the theatrical trailer, which is a big disappointment, because this is, you know, like one of the big Friday the 13th films. There's no commentary. There's not even a Tales from Camp Blood Part 3.
Oh, thank God.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for Part 3. I don't know how it could have got any better than 1 and 2.
But get this though. On the box set that came out, the Friday the 13th box set from, what was it, Crystal Lake to Manhattan, I think it was called. Where they had part 1 through 8. In that box set, they had a commentary on part 3 on the film, but it's not in here on this DVD. Why they didn't add it, who knows? But then again, if it was, I don't know what that commentary was, but I think if it was anything like the commentary on Friday the 13th Uncut, I probably could have skipped that too.
But you know, this is like the iconic Jason where he gets the hockey mask. You know, they could have at least put something on here about the hockey mask. You know, about how he came up with the hockey mask and how he, you know, who came up with the idea to give it to him, and or something like that. You know, it would have been interesting, but there's nothing.
I totally agree.
So again, you know, this is a good trip down memory lane back to when Jason first gets his hockey mask, and you know, I've always liked the third movie. The fourth one still being my favorite probably out of the whole series, but the third one still it holds a lot of memories for me because of the iconic hockey mask he finally gets in this movie. So in all, you know, it's worth picking up for your Friday the 13th fan.
I applaud him for at least the attempt of satisfying the Friday the 13th fans with the 3D film. So it was a nice nostalgic walk down memory lane to watch it, and I agree with Dave on that totally. So
So for more reviews, check out our website at frontrowreview.com. We'll be back for another DVD review soon, so make sure you subscribe to this YouTube site and go to our website, check out.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness out here.